Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Miles Apart in the Common Room. This was an intense episode. I'm going to be honest with you. We started off talking about immigration and the value that immigrants bring to the countries that they move to, and then we moved to the concept of death. So we talked about what it would look like to grow old and to die, and then we talked most importantly about our own parents and what it is like right now, watching your parents grow old, get sick, and then go closer to their deathbed because they're just getting older. It was quite intense and also a bit emotional and sober. So you should probably listen to the very end and let us know what you think. You can drop your comments. It will be good to actually have people that we can have this conversation about old age and growing old with. But yeah, let's get into the episode now. And yeah, hope you have a good time. Hi, Israel. How was your week? That is
My
our
week,
starting
my week
this episode.
was fine. Yeah, it was very busy because there were so many activities that I was doing
Mm.
almost every single day. So that was nice. Tuesday I went to play badminton. Uh, Wednesday, well, I might have to check my calendar. But Thursday I went for this Thursday event. I don't know. It's like a networking slash dating event. It's like meet. It's
Oh,
like it's
how
it's
did that go?
it's it's a bar where um everybody there is single, right? And then you because I think the problem now is like when you're walking on the road, you don't know who is single. But then how did that go? It was too many people that you don't particular. It's also a jumbled up age group. Do you get
Oh my God.
right? So you meet people like a lot of people were not, at least people that I talked to were like 29, 30, 31, 32. That kind of thing. So
They were like quite older than you.
they were, yeah. So they were older than me, more or less. I think, anyways, not to get into the whole dating thingy again, but yeah. So that was on Thursday. On Friday, I went out. Like I had dinner with my friends, like some boys here. I created this thing because that's the thing about friendships, right? If you have to make effort to make it work. So I set up this calendar event for us to have dinner every 2 weeks. So and then after that, we decided to eat a club and just go dance. We're already going home, like almost 5 minutes away from home, and then we were just like, oh yeah, let's head back and see what is happening. The night is still young,
Mhm.
kind of stuff. But all of that led to me feeling my social battery was on zero by the time it was Saturday, and I just needed to sleep and rest and not talk to anybody.
Oh,
Uh,
I
what is
see.
all? Yeah.
That
So
explains
That
yesterday.
explained yesterday, yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
wasn't in the mood to talk to anybody. Just wanted to get
Yeah.
my
Oh,
social battery back. Yeah. So that was how
Uh,
the week went.
that's
Feeling
that's a
feeling
good. That's
more
for
in the mood to talk to people, but not.
yeah. For context, guys, we had a call yesterday where we were talking about yeah, so people can know. We had a call where we were talking about faith and God and I think God's sovereignty and forgiveness and social justice and all of those things and Christianity. And somebody and I were on the call and Israel was on the call and he was being a goat basically.
Because you
I was
decided
like,
to add me to the call.
and we're like,
You
can
don't
you
ask for
actually
my permission
can
to
you brighten
before
up
you.
your face or something? And I was like, oh, it's not about that life and everything. So apparently this is why he has been having dinner with a few guys twice every 2 weeks, which
mm.
Lama is already jealous of. And then he has been eating the bar, which will come to later. But yeah, that's a
I,
great week, Israel. I'm envious. I like how your week went. How about you, Samuel? How was your week?
so before I talk about my week, I actually feel like I want to touch something that Israel said that I did not want to touch about dating stuff. But we'll come to that one. I want to
Okay.
touch
I
that thing
thought I
because I feel
thought
like
I thought we don't want to get into dating, making
since when?
every episode about my
I had a
dating life.
conversation with someone. I'm still having the conversation on Instagram,
Yeah,
and it's off the back of the dating episode because it was a whole long conversation about dating and everything, and it
yeah.
was because of and the person believes that I'm like on the street and desperately searching and everything, and I was like,
Session.
that's Israel. Like I'm not like I'm not the one.
So you don't want
What
them to start accusing.
so I'm like, don't put me in the same and this thing. But we've been talking yesterday night actually. It's been a fun conversation. But like
uh,
it's been quite remarkable what that particular episode has brought us. You guys should check it out if you've not watched that past episode. But yeah, Samuel, your week.
That's the relationship about Israel's therapy session.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my week actually, um, oh, yeah, I don't know. It was a bit intense. I did pick up
Mm.
a new hobby, which for some reason I'm enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying it way more than going to the gym, which is taking walks, right? So I would walk like I think yesterday I walked like five, no, not yesterday, 2 days ago. I walked like 5 kilometers, right? And I walked that to and fro. So almost like taking care of 4 miles ish, right?
Mhm.
Walked it, walked back. I saw an hiking trail, which I was going to like follow through. But I'm like, I see why horror movies start in this kind of spaces. Because it was so desolate, there was nobody there. I'm like, I cannot do this thing. And while I was
Uh,
walking, I found myself merged between like two dog owners. One had three dogs in front, one had one dog at the back, and I was in the middle. It was so bad that the guy with the three dogs, because they were big dogs, he had to move into the woods because he was scared that his dogs would start charging towards his smaller dog. But then there was me, who nobody was thinking about, but I did not want to be there because I don't like dogs. So I was scared. So I just kept on walking because the dog was in
That's
front
a.
and behind me.
I mean, I think you probably said, well, that's a revelation that you don't like dogs. But
I don't
continue.
like dogs. I'm scared of dogs. If they're not like small and I can smack them if they do anyhow, I'm scared
Wow.
of them. You see those bulldogs, French Labrador, Chef, all those names. I'm really scared of them. Anything that can bite me and I can
I'm
bite back.
surprised that Israel has not even gotten a dog, but I'm happy that he has not. Just surprised. Uh, but
Nah,
yeah,
man. But wait, let me finish. Okay, I feel
I
like
go ahead.
I've gotten derailed. Then on on then I hung out with a friend. I did have a lot of like I would say I don't know maybe therapy session. I don't know, but I had a lot of difficult conversations this week. Um and yeah, I think it was a pretty packed week. And yeah, I think that's about it.
I mean, I like that you're taking walks, and yeah, it's always good to see those pictures of the different flowers that you're discovering, having a
Mm,
mini biology section.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm surprised that I like it more than the gym, though. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
yeah, maybe because it doesn't require stress. But yeah, my week was how was my week? Oh yeah, my week was fun. This is the week I actually uh, I returned from my trip, so
Hmm.
it was a good one. Yeah, just
You want
remember
to give
now
us
that
a breakdown of your trip?
oh my god, that's 10 days, a breakdown of 10 days. The summary is that at the end of the trip, I was finished. I think Israel and I were talking about it. Like, I was done, man. Like, I'd been traveling for 10 days,
Mhm.
I think the next time I'm going to do a trip like this is going to be same 10 days, but in just one country, because I had a good time. I'm not even going to lie. I feel like it was a life changing experience for me. Like going to all those places and then meeting up with my friends in all those places. It was just so much fun, and it also kind of expanded my world, so to speak. And I learned things that you learn as a first time traveler and everything about overhyped places, but we'll not get into that. But yeah, I had a good time, and this week was just me slowing down from all of that. So I got back to the UK on Monday, and okay, funny story was that I missed my train. The train that was supposed to take me from Amsterdam to the UK, I missed the train because apparently they had cancelled the trip and they did not send an email. They claimed that they did, but me, I didn't receive
Yeah.
any email. So I'm guessing they sent it, but all those those things that you apply for, and they're like, oh, do you want to put your email? And Apple ID just tells you that they will
Ah,
put some rubbish email for you.
Yeah.
Did you get
Yeah.
it? So that's probably what happened. So my train was supposed to leave by 6:30 a.m. I was already at the station by like 5:30, and I
Mhm.
was losing my mind because I could not see my train. And I went to ask them, and they're like, "Oh, this train is no longer coming to this station, and everything. That I need to book another train." And I was panicking because if I'd already missed that train, which meant that I had missed the connecting train in Brussels that was supposed to take me to London. So it was a lot of, if you miss the train here, you're going to miss the next one, and then you're going to buy another ticket again and everything. So I was explaining to the woman that I'm a tourist and I have a train to catch, I have a Eurostar train to catch to London. And she was like, I should not worry about that one. That if I booked my tickets with Eurostar, that they're going to just give me another ticket once I get to Brussels. I don't need to pay afresh. And
Mhm.
that's actually what happened. I bought a new ticket, went to Brussels, which is in Belgium, then got on the train. I was there and I was trying to, because I had like 10 minutes before my train was taking off. And they were like, oh, do I have a ticket? I'm like, no, I bought the ticket. I missed the previous train. They did not even, just give me a new standard class ticket and told me that, okay, just join the queue. And then, of course, because of Nigerian passport, I had to wait another extra, yeah, all those other passports. So
Yeah.
and the people that I was following, because apparently a lot of us missed the train from Amsterdam. So we're like following ourselves around, all these white people, obviously. So when we got to that place, I did not click clock that I'm supposed to find my people. I was still following them until they're like, excuse me, sir, is that a British? I'm like, oh, no, no, oh, it's a mess up. I mean, like, I had to just,
I British. You'll be like,
because I
that's
was
great.
holding that grey passport with so much
That's
name
great.
and everything. Like, I couldn't care less. So I had to just find my way back to my people. And yeah, so since I got back to the UK, I've just been resting, getting back home to work. Yeah, it was a pretty chill week for me. I don't have any exciting, apart from the trip. There's nothing else that was out of the blues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we talking about, Samuel? This episode.
Yeah, I mean, I actually wanted to first start to dig into what Israel had said earlier. We're going to come back to that. We're not running anywhere from it.
I think
The
you should. We can do it now, right?
So this is the reason why I'm curious about it, right? Obviously, we know Israel's stance when it comes to dating people that are older than him. Yeah,
What is Eastern though? He's not
Exactly.
into
Israel,
that.
he's not into it. He's not into it at all,
Oh,
right?
into
But
the
then
younger.
the point of, I think one of the reasons why I did not enjoy that stuff was because they were older people, right, or more older people like than him, and so he wanted to say something about dating, which I felt like could have been a whole conversation starter. But I'm curious to know what it is because my head will not stop thinking about it. It's an opinion he
Yeah, I
had.
think you should be open and honest about what you
Let's
were
go.
going to say.
I can't even remember what that was, but
We were going to say, I think dating as, and you're like, not to dig into the dating world, whatever.
I have no idea what I was going to say.
How was the experience? Tell us about the experience. Maybe that will
Yeah,
come
it
out.
was people that I talked to were mostly older for the most part. Yeah, I think one thing that I was going to say, okay, I remember what I was going to say, which is that it doesn't seem, at least from my experience, which I might be wrong, that a lot of people younger than me are looking for, and I didn't say everybody, a lot of people younger than me that are girls are currently looking for something long term, which makes sense. It's also like they are probably not in the headspace for something long term.
Mm.
Imagine someone that is just coming out of school and still trying to figure their life out. They're probably not thinking about one random guy. They just want to satisfy their immediate
Present
special,
need.
yeah, sexual pleasure or emotional need without having to think about commitment, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think
Or, or
uh
career need and stuff. But
yeah, I mean, probably relationship is not a priority, is what
Mhm.
I'm saying. So at the end, most of the folks that I'm probably going to be meeting that are in that headspace will be older, more or less. So I think that was what I wanted to say the other time. Nothing
Yeah,
too serious about it. And
it
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
am I am okay with dating someone that is older, but probably 1 year or 2 years. And I think I was telling Samuel about the reason why. I think ultimately it's like if I date anybody that is older than me now, our timeline, because whether we like it or not, women have a biological timeline that, especially if you want to give birth to kids, right? You have to give birth to kids at
Consider
some point.
that.
I can
Do
Yeah.
you
take
get?
yeah, at
So
some
there's
point, yeah.
obviously the part like I am not ready. I'm not looking to have a kid in like the first 2 years. Do you get? Like I want to enjoy my partner and let my partner enjoy me. Let's do things together and let's build our marriage. What is funny about me enjoying my partner and my partner enjoying me?
No, 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 no,
I wasn't only
perfect.
thinking about it in sexual terms anyway.
No, no, no. I
I
actually
was
was
not
thinking
thinking about it
about
in the
the
sexual
whole concept of a child. That was actually what
Okay,
I was
okay,
thinking about. That just
okay.
made me, I don't know, like, I
Yeah,
just imagine
to think that,
as a
bro, it's just
child. I
yeah,
honestly,
exactly.
I'm going to be
Yeah,
real. Because
yeah.
it's
I
like,
mean,
this
yeah,
whole child thing, though. Anyway, let's just go ahead.
exactly. So I think that's really the whole thing about the fact that if you're dating someone that is older, now you have to think about like your timelines are different. They are probably
Yeah.
thinking, I want to have a kid as fast as possible. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's also that attraction is an interesting thing, although, like, even whether you're younger or not, but when they are becoming older than you and looking older than you, and you are, at least as a guy, I'm still getting finer ish, I think. I mean, it's one of the topics that we added about that we have on our son about getting progressively finer, but it does nothing to really do with aging anyway. It's more about the status that we are in now. But yeah, I think it's mostly those two things. Yeah, so it's not like, yeah. So I know I've told Samuel, but it's always like, why am I not dating older? I'm like,
No, yeah, because I don't
And I
know.
think the reason why you're rating that to me is I think it's perfectly clear. I mean, apart from the logistical this thing, it's okay to just not want to. There's no need to have a
exactly.
reason. All
Yeah.
these one are
It's
even
okay
looking
to
for
not just get
just
attracted to,
every reason. Like
yeah,
I'm like I'm even proud of you. You can just
yeah,
not want to. There are people that just don't want to date older people that are women that are older than, and that's totally fine. Just
yeah.
yeah, it's like it's your love life though. I don't know when it's going to be there with you.
Yeah.
Like you can't be using it to satisfy societal arguments
Yeah,
or
yeah.
to progress. I don't know some isms or
Agenda,
whatever.
yeah.
It's like yeah,
Isms.
that's not your responsibility.
Yeah.
Like you get so yeah. I would say whoever you want to date. To be honest, I was going to say that I was going to ask you that. What do you think is like? It seems to me that, and not just you, but obviously maybe us, but but it seems to me that dating or love is like maybe top three of the things you think about a lot these days. Is
Not
it a
not
function of maybe
particularly though.
other things that are like maybe settled ish?
I
Because
mean,
yeah, I mean we don't plan to have this conversation, but they just as you can see now, it just
oh, I
comes up.
mean, guys decided to bring it up, but I think maybe for me, because that
Yeah.
is like what I'm. It's more like what if you're searching for a job, I would
Mm-hmm.
expect that what is on your top priority, or probably what you talk about with people, should have something to do with searching for a job. If you're trying to
Your
do
career and
something
stuff.
about
Yeah.
your finances, I would expect that
Mm-hmm.
what comes up, right,
Mm-hmm.
is that. And I think it's that for me. Most of the other things in my life are on autopilot, right? My career is, I just have to go to work, do what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do, write code, do
Yeah.
meetings, and be happy, right? For savings, auto invest, money is growing. I can, like, more, all those things are just there.
Yeah.
And I have side project that I'm working on. And those things are working, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that makes sense. I just wanted
yeah,
to
so,
ask
yeah, I think it's mostly just that it's like, yeah, it's one of the things I'm
the
looking for.
last box to tick.
Yeah, not necessarily last box to think it's to tick. It's more so that is currently the stage that I am in, I guess.
Mm.
It's the way to put it. And yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. We have the topic for us to discuss. Or this, or we keep going into
No,
Israel's
it, it,
non-existent
it, it,
stuff.
it, it's okay. I think that like this is also why I really don't mind us like talking about relationships or whatever, because I just think it's particularly the phase where a large part of us we are right now. So
Yeah.
it's like it makes sense for these conversations to keep recurring. Um, I think that in some ways it's might resonate with other people, and so it's kind of important to kind of have this conversation.
Yeah, and I
What?
want
Yeah, go on. Go on.
about resonating with other people. I also think that, like you said, a lot of people, it's probably a, I mean, if you've been checking news, or you've been seeing everybody's talking about the pandemic, if so to put, of dating, and how people are not finding partners. Every podcast is all about that now. It's like, yeah, and like that's basically, and I think it's a factor of the current state that we are in. And it's obviously a problem, like,
Mm.
whether you think like it or not, it's a problem that people aren't getting partnered up as much. And we can talk about what it does to how that has, and it's not even only about loneliness, it's also about friendships. I think Michael was sending something to the group about how people just don't have friends again. Do you get?
Mm-hmm.
And it's I see it as the root as probably the same issue, and that is leading to more people getting lonely and being depressed. Do you get? Whether people don't have, I think it's better for us because we have friends. I think so, right? That we can always, whenever you have, at least I
When
hope
I,
so. Yeah, whenever you
well,
always have problems and things that you can discuss, and
mhm.
not a lot of people have that. I would tell you that, and
Yeah.
it affects how you see life. It affects how you approach life. Even if you're
Mm.
making so much money and you don't have people to talk to, you don't have friends to discuss things with, that leads to loneliness, it leads to depression, and it makes life harder for people to live. And it's obviously something that is a pandemic. I mean, it's
It's a global
it's
problem.
a global problem, and
Yeah.
it's also leading to existential crisis in some countries, right? Some countries like Japan, because people aren't giving back to kids so much, um, have that. And it's also that all these countries that also leads to things like immigration, right? Because uh, there are countries that are saying, oh, they're anti-immigration, but it's also like you are not producing enough children, you have aging population, and people, and the problem with not giving, like, because people are not partnering up, people are not giving back to kids. The problem with that is we are not seeing the problem now, right? But a lot of people that are in the working population now,
Mm.
according to probably a lot of data, uh, are going to retire in the next maybe 10, 20 years, right? And the few people that we don't have enough people to fill those gaps that have been left
Yeah.
or that will be left by those people in the coming years, which means
Mm.
that there'll be so many. The way the society has always worked is there are some people that are working to take care of the old people because they are paying taxes that is then taking care of those old people, right? But if that doesn't exist again, it's going to lead to a crazy thing where the government doesn't make enough money because
Yeah.
people are not a lot of people are working to take care of that. And people that are against immigration are going to start feeling the grunt of that because Africans are still producing so many kids, right? And
Yeah.
they are still
Yeah,
doing their
working hard.
civil and civil duties, and their God-given responsibility to produce kids, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of other countries. So when you are saying you don't want those people, and that is just going to lead to problems down the line, right? So I think all those things are a lot of connected issues. Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking of, I wanted us to segue into old people, but speaking of Africans, like still having kids, right?
Yeah.
Which is true, 100%.
Yeah.
It is also the case of immigration is never really. I mean, people. There's a reason why, even though governments and people say they don't want immigration, they still keep some immigration routes open.
Yeah.
It's like the citizenry can complain and everything, and maybe you do one thing to appease them. But
Hmm.
those who have insight into the data know that they need to keep this route open.
Yeah.
Like for example, a country like the UK, the healthcare system is filled with immigrants. Like
Yeah.
they know, like the country knows that they can't close their routes. Like people can complain, citizens can complain, and they
Yeah.
can do one or two things to appease them. They get it.
Yeah.
But they know that if they close these routes right now, there's going to be a problem. If they want to,
Hmm.
they can begin to take action towards maybe in 20 years, we want to reduce how many immigrants we bring into the healthcare system.
Yeah.
So let's get our British
Exactly.
people into the
Yeah.
healthcare system, all of these things. But like, I'm saying this to let us know that immigration has never really been a we are doing good for you thing. So
Oh no,
governments know why,
obviously. Yeah.
like,
I
they
mean,
know why.
immigration has never really been about, oh, because we
Yeah,
love others. It's because
yeah,
everybody's using everybody. I
exactly.
mean,
It's
it is just
basically
what it is, right?
it's a
Like,
continuation of the slave trade, to be honest. Like they
no,
bring
more or
us from
less,
our
right?
continent to their continent to work,
Yeah,
and then we grow that economy. It's literally what it is. That's what
yeah.
we're doing now. Israel is growing the economy of Canada right now, as he is in Canada.
As a
I'm
Oh,
tech
growing the
worker,
economy
because
of you're
because
getting
Canada,
paid for it.
what did you
Yeah, but
say?
it's getting paid this time. That's why
But
it's
it's get
different. It's
yeah, but
getting
you're
paid this
getting
time.
paid for it,
That's why
right?
it's different.
Because
But
it's
like
like,
they are not doing it for the good of Israel, and you're also not going because you love Canada. So it's like we're both paying ourselves. So it's like the only way immigration would maybe go to zero is if maybe the government stops benefiting from that. And from the problem that you already raised now, it's going to take a while because
Yeah, it
aging
is going to
population
take a while.
and
Yeah,
reducing birth rates is not something that you fix with a
yeah.
pronouncement. People are not having sex to give birth. It's a societal mindset thing. If, for example, I think the US president or maybe the US presidency is trying to get more people pregnant or something like that. Did you see that? I don't know. And people are saying that the reason why we are not having kids is because rent is expensive. I'm
Yeah, that
begging
was
so I'm
one thing
living,
that I was going to
you
say.
get
That
it's
is
not
also
by
a
all these
problem. Yeah,
announcements and proclamations.
yeah.
Like there are real societal issues. People have figured out that if I'm living alone in London as a bachelor, I can
Mm-hmm.
save more, I can invest more. If I even have a partner, we save more money and everything. The moment we have a child,
Yeah.
instead of our cost reducing, it starts increasing. So why
Mm-hmm.
would we do it? Do you get it? So it's like it's not a matter of proclamation or saying on Twitter that I want there to be baby boom. I
No,
see those headlines, just like yeah.
I have a
But anyway,
lot
I
that
wanted
I'm
to
thinking
Samuel, when
about
you're done, I
this
want to
one. Yeah,
segue into the old people thing that Israel was talking about.
yeah,
So Samuel, please go ahead.
yeah. I have a lot that I'm thinking about. Like, I've been quiet for the most part of this conversation because, like what you're saying, right? Is like, okay, even no matter what the issue is. So you spoke about generosity or the perceived generosity of countries towards immigrants, or at least it's like there's no generosity as it were for countries towards
Yeah.
immigrants because we are both
Mm-hmm.
serving each other's purpose. But the
Yeah.
problem is that the narrative that is being passed around immigrants right now is not that conversation. It's basically sending a signal
Yeah.
that, oh, these people are coming to take things from us,
Yeah.
and the politicians that are supposed to know better are the ones pushing this narrative. So they're like, oh, they are doing this, we are giving them all of these things, we are spending this
Mm-hmm.
much, we are doing all these things. They won't talk about the other moving parts that are working.
Yeah.
So then the reason why I was like smiling for the most part was because while we are talking about the beneficial, like I think it's called symbiosis, right? The
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. While talking about that, there's also the point where these narratives are affecting immigrants' perception of these countries. So even though we know that, okay, I'm coming to contribute, I might get this remuneration, the fact that
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as an immigrant,
Mm-hmm.
if I come to this place, even though I'm not leeching off them, even though I'm working my bottom off, right?
Yeah.
I still have there's still this narrative, there's this hanging um conversation around how I am coming to steal from you or I'm coming to
Yeah.
do things to you. And then there's a feeling of unsafety. So it's like we are talking about the problem of like people not having kids or not wanting to give birth because of the state of the economy. There's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a conversation of like people that can help are no longer trying to come in because they are scared that they will now be a walking target.
Yeah.
Like so it's like I actually was talking about this thing where, for example, you think about a country like the US, where, and I'm going to try to pick my words here carefully, but a country like the US, where we talk about immigration, and in some ways, immigration has now become, like when we talk about immigrants, it has now become very synonymous to criminals. Like the whole perception is being shaped around
Mm-hmm.
immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, immigrants are criminals, immigrants are coming, they are stealing, they are robbing, they are gang members, they are things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, but you're not talking about the fact that the richest man in the world right now, right, is apparently the right hand of the president, is an immigrant. Like,
Yeah.
like, and then you're seeing posts of like, this one then gets me mad because then you then see posts of people like Americans trying to go to other countries and they're like, oh, they're trying to escape for better life. That's what immigrants are doing. Like, why do you think you can go to a different country and call yourself an expat? But anyway, so it's like all of this conversation is like it's now painting a negative narrative for immigrants that immigrants are no longer sure they want to go to these countries anymore because it feels
Mm-hmm.
like they're no longer safe. So I don't know. I don't know why. Like if it
I
just feels
mean,
I
like
think
talking about immigrant. I just opened Facebook because I posted something there, not on Facebook, but on the
on
Facebook group.
Facebook. Oh,
Like I was like for the casting that we're doing for our this thing, and the
okay.
first post that I saw, supposedly by a page called "I Love the Bible," uh, the headline is University of South Carolina student and one killed in hit and run crash involving illegal immigrant. I mean, it's sad, but it's also like the fact that they had to make it
Illegal
like
immigrant.
obviously there's an agenda to say that, oh, is this immigrants that are killing people? Do you
Yeah.
get right? So for example, very sadly yesterday night, I think someone drove into like, so there was this Filipino festival that was happening yesterday, and
Mhm.
a driver drove into and killed multiple people,
In
and a lot
Canada.
of people, yeah, like yesterday night, like legit yesterday night around 8 p.m, like killed
Yeah,
multiple,
in
which was
Vancouver,
very
right?
sad. Yeah, in Vancouver,
Yeah, because I saw
right?
the headline. I wanted to send it to you, but I was
Yeah,
like, you didn't talk
yeah,
about
I
it.
saw it. Yeah, and it's I guess
Yeah.
it was. I've not checked what the latest is or whether they've released info about the person, but I'm assuming that if it was an immigrant, they would have said it was an
Oh my
immigrant,
god.
Yeah.
right?
They will have said immigrants did this.
Exactly, and which
Yeah.
I mean, bad people do bad things whether they are immigrants or not. I think that's ultimately
Yeah.
the thing, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just wanted to say how
Me,
interesting that was. Like the
Yeah.
first thing that I saw was about someone being an illegal
Yeah.
immigrant.
there are
Speaking
so
of what
recipes. Okay.
Samuel, yeah, I mean, there's a recipes. Speaking of what
Yeah.
Samuel said about like immigrants no longer feel safe to like, or maybe assured that they want to go. It's like, and again, I don't want us to do this immigrants. I mean, we can, but it's also like nobody really wants to be going anywhere. Do I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like
Mm.
generally, if things
If
were
there's
fine
a
in
good
everybody's
time,
country,
yeah.
nobody would be living to be going anywhere permanently. Like
Mm-hmm.
people want to travel, see the world, and then go back to their base. It's like
Mm.
immigrants, people who leave their home country to move abroad already know that it's like they're only leaving because even the way they are going is probably going to be like discrimination and racism. It's just the only other option. Do you get
Mm-hmm.
it? It's like they know that that's the only other option. For example, people that flee countries where they are war-torn countries and the likes, or maybe the economy is just terrible, they wish they could obviously go to their country where the weather in Africa is fantastic and
Yeah.
Mm.
everything. There's no season now. People are not hibernating during any winter and everything. Like there's so many things, but you're just like, if not that things are not good, if it's like nobody's leaving. But anyway, segueing into what Israel said earlier about how that the younger generation is basically brought up to take care of the older generation in that unspoken contract.
Mm.
Do you ever think about what your old age would feel like? Particularly now that you have parents who are probably aging. I don't know Samuel's parents' age, but and it probably might be different for you because you're with your parents in the US. But Israel's parents are in Ogbomoso. My parents are also like back home and everything. Do you ever feel? I mean, what's your state of mind like with things like, oh, maybe they might develop all these old age diseases and sickness and all of these things, and you just can't do anything. Like, just have to watch them undergo the process of dying.
Deteriorate. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the things that, so I've began to write some random thoughts about, it's just some random thoughts is the way to put it. And uh, if you know, I've always made peace with death a long time ago, right? And I think it's, and I was writing that there are two things that are certain in this world, which is, you, if you're in this world, it means you were born, hopefully,
Yeah.
and you will die, right?
Hopefully.
And it's interesting how people, I know there's a superstitious aspect of it, like don't talk about it, and so, which is like, but when sometimes I mention the idea of death, I'm like, oh, for example, I can say, oh, I will, like, it's better for me to live, die lonely, say something like that, than to marry
Mhm.
someone that I'm not attracted to or something like that. People are like,
Yeah.
oh wow, die, and I'm like, yeah, you die. Like, sure, like you will die
Yeah.
whether now or, and even some people are probably listening to this and are already feeling creature like, oh, don't talk about death, you're still young. I'm like, sure, like you will die. Like, I don't know. There's nothing as certain as that. Like, you will
Yeah.
die. Like, and I don't exactly know why people are afraid of talking about that. But that's one part. One other part is like, I don't, when I think about old age and stuff, I don't think
Mhm.
I want to, obviously, people start having different diseases associated with growing old by 60, 70, 50, whatever. But as far as I am concerned now, immediately I'm 70-ish, I just want to be gone. Because by the time you are like legit, like I've tried, like, let's just be done with that and let's just finish it. They will be like, oh, your grandchildren. I'm like, those people will live their lives. Like, and when you're dying, at the point when you're dying, you are alone, even if people are around you. It's the reality is you will face death alone, and let's just die early before we start constituting problems to other people around
Yes,
us. You know, when you're at that age where in people's mind, they are just like, oh, grandpa needs to go. But if you don't believe in like assisted death or something, you're like, in your mind, you can't say it out loud, right? But you're like, oh, and
do
because
you believe in assisted death?
I mean, I might sign at a point like, just kill me when I'm becoming a nuisance to the community. No, legit, because at some point in time, you are not living a good life because you are basically useless to the
Nobody's
society.
having fun
Like
yet. Like,
nobody's having fun. Like you're not living a good life. The people that are taking care of you are not living a good life. And if you're in the Western world, they'll probably put you in a care home and they are spending money on you, money that they can use to do some other things and travel to Maldives or stuff. Like, just die. Like,
so, so the thing is that some people would argue that that old age period is actually the sweetest. And the reason is
maybe
because
no, I mean, being useless.
wait,
Please, just it's
wait.
one of the things. It's one of the things that baffles me. So please explain.
And let me tell you, especially in this Western world, for
Yeah,
example, when I was in Amsterdam and you get on the train, you tap and everything.
yeah,
Old people just tap their ID card. They don't pay for anything. They
yeah,
don't be paying for things. So
yeah,
it's like people believe that they work all this their 50 years of their life
yeah,
or 30 years of their life. That's the time. Like obviously you've traveled the world all of this,
yeah,
but you've always lived with an anchor. Maybe you have to return
yeah.
to work or return to your
Okay.
children. But now you're 60. There's
Yeah.
nothing to return to. Like
Okay.
your wife is probably old. Like that is the time. I mean, you've seen all these people that you see them on Instagram reels where they're like, "Oh, I'm traveling with my wife.
Yeah,
We only
yeah,
want to do-" You get so I feel like some people would argue that time you're gone. That's actually the time when you're not living for anything. Death could come anytime. You
sure,
couldn't pay
sure.
less. It's like that's time to spend your money with the government's money,
Yeah, yeah,
with everybody that would care to send you money's money,
yeah.
without any care. Let me invest. Let me save. So
No,
it's like
totally.
people want to live old and healthy enough to that point so
Okay.
they can have that entire like
I mean,
free world.
say, I've gamed this thing. Say you retire by 50, 20
Yeah.
years, do whatever the fuck you want to do and get out of this place. Get the fuck out of this. Legit. Like, retire by 20. Like,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
so Michael, we're talking about this. You were like, you've done so much in 1 year than you've done in
Yeah.
25 years of your life, right?
Yeah.
After you moved. So imagine 20 years, like, bro. And it's also that all this traveling is not easy by that time because your bones are
Bro,
just,
even in my youth.
even in your youth, you wake up, you're like, this, like, translating from Yoruba, like, the rod of my back is
Bro,
like, he's like, bro. So
I'm
those
using the
things,
whole day to speak bonjour.
do you get to speak bonjour to start like bonjour le masse, like, like,
Oh
bro,
my God.
just
But
just
anyways,
die.
what do you think? He's obviously is in his Dostoevsky era, so he wants to end it off.
Israel's
I mean,
opinion is
legit.
very.
Oh,
It's
but
Israel's
yeah,
also it's also let me just finish mentioning Dostoevsky and mentioning, like, even when you think about life now and you think about everything you're doing, you think about all the work you're just like, yeah, what's the point of it? Like, and then when you now reach 70, what else are you looking for? Like, anyway, Samuel, please respond.
this idea is where religion comes in. But yeah, Samuel, over to you.
That is where religion comes
I
in.
mean, it's
Yeah,
even better when religion comes where you're like, yeah, you're at a good age, you're
so
not
you can
constituting
add a
problem.
meaning to it.
Yeah, you'll be like, yes, I'm going to heaven or something and die.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but you
the whole
can't
point
assist
is
your way
die.
to you can't assist your way to your maker.
You
But Samuel,
says who? I mean, if you're saved by grace and not by works, right? Like,
you
technically,
can get
I
heaven
mean,
by work.
anyways,
Fast track your salvation.
yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
just
Samuel,
gonna
please.
drink here.
Yeah, because
Anyways,
I actually
Samuel.
want to talk about after Samuel though, I want to start just talk about people that are already old right now anyway, which is
Yeah,
our parents. Obviously not us. So Samuel, back
yeah.
to you.
Okay, so actually, I had this conversation not recently. So there's a friend of mine that is doing this amazing work about redefining conversations around death and afterlife. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Afterfin. I think that's called Afterfin.xyz.
Mm-hmm.
It's on they're on Instagram, and so they do all of these things about talking about death. And so I've spoken to her about it, and we're just talking about like general concept. And I think she was trying to explain how we have particularly like Israel said, we've made the conversation of death taboo, right? Um, and I think, like, when I think about death, for example, I think about it from two perspectives: me and then the people around me. Now, if we're talking about death, when I die, I'm not feeling shit, right? Like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not in pain. All those movies that they will see of them watching from me, like you watch from the top. Um,
Oh,
Watching
when your
from the good
spirit leaves
place.
your
no,
They're
body
no,
watching
and
from
watch
a good
everyone
place, and
feel
they're
like,
like, "Wow, look at you!" Yeah,
you know, all those things. I don't know, like I don't know if it's would matter at that point because like it's done. Like we're done.
yeah.
I then, but the part that then scares me is the pain. Excuse me, the pain that might have for the people around me. I think that's the part that worries me. Is like because I don't want the people around me to be in pain, but at the same time, you gotta go.
should I respond to that?
However, one second.
Is
However,
it odd? Is it odd for example? Because we are also dying. Or do you mean
no,
like your
not
children?
that. I'm talking
Like the
about
people that
like
they are living behind, like
Like
yeah.
your children?
whatever,
Yeah,
whoever they
those are
are.
the only people. Anybody your age mates right now, your age region, are also in their dying process.
It's
Your
no,
siblings are also
No,
in
but
their
more or
dying.
less,
again.
anybody that cares about you that you are leaving behind, they will.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
Anybody, I don't care. It might be mentor, mentee, whatever.
the mentor is
You are
probably
leaving
gone
someone
too. But
behind.
go ahead.
You're leaving someone behind. What did you
but
say?
somebody's going to miss you, and somebody's
Your
going to
mentor is
be.
probably also gone.
Yeah,
It's probably your children.
No, no. See, that's the problem because then you think my mentor can only be older.
See, if your mentor is your range right now, Ona
No,
one is also in that
mentor
process.
can be younger though. You see, let's not debate
Go
all of
ahead, go
that.
ahead. No, let's leave your mentor. Your
Anyway,
mentor is alive. Go ahead, please.
so while all of that, like now I've already
Yeah.
forgotten what I'm saying because
You were
if
talking
someone
about
is
not causing
asking
them
me,
pain. Sorry. You're talking about not
about how
causing
they
people
will
that,
feel. Yeah,
yeah,
so
the people
about
that
who you're
are
leaving
there.
so
behind.
there was a point I'm going to, but I'm going to try to like so
Please
basically it's
cook.
like about how these people would feel when that happens. I think that is what it is. However, I don't share your sentiment of leaving this world when it's like 70 or something. I don't.
How old do you want
Um
to be?
and I think when I think about it, I'm hoping that I would live maybe like to like 80 or like 90 or like I don't know because this is the thing. One, by all statistics and all numbers, right? You actually you have more resources at that age, right?
Not
Now
what I was
I
telling you.
I don't think that if I'm at that age, I don't think my resources would want to go towards traveling and seeing the world and everything because again, your body might be weak depending on how much investment you've put into your health growing up.
Yeah.
But I do think that you have enough time and money to invest in the things that you probably want to do. So maybe you want to live in an estate and have a garden and like invest your money or contribute to like a museum or something like you have the time and the luxury to actually see your impact and you also have the time, you also have the position where you really don't give a fuck about what anyone thinks, which means that you can then say whatever you want to say without any repercussion because I mean I'm gonna die very soon. So there's so much power because then you can be as loud as possible without any fear of repercussion. You can and I'm saying this from a political perspective, for example. You have people like I don't know. I'm trying to call, but you have people that they're old enough to the point where they can say whatever they want to say,
Yeah.
and you can. So like that's what I think about when I get to. That's the power of getting on. Again, there's also the part of like saying that you are kind of not no longer noticeable in those conversations. Like for example, you're an old person in New York. you're probably walking at like, I don't know, 1 mile per hour or something. And then you have like the young guys just walking past you, walking past you, walking past you. Like that is like, I don't know how to describe it, but like
I
there's
get
just
what you're saying, man. You're just chilling in life.
you're just
Like you're
chilling. Like you're
not
just
paying
chilling.
rent. You're probably not paying rent.
Yeah,
Like you're probably not
you're
like
just
there's
chilling. You've
nothing
probably paid off
you're
your mortgage or something.
existing to
No,
talk
I think I
with.
totally get that, to be honest. You obviously you're doing all that, and but my own thing is, by the time you get to a point where you are constituting a nuisance to the society,
End it all.
just
But the thing is
leave.
that
Do you
a
think you would do
care
that by
home might not be that bad. Israel, wait. A care home might not be that bad. Let me explain why.
Okay.
So I'm reading this book now where it's about old people.
Okay.
And they are making friends. They are making friends even in their old age and everything. And again, we all should watch Modern Love. I will keep
Yeah.
referencing that. But like Israel, you can imagine you're in a care home now. Or imagine
Okay.
that we're all in a care home together. That
Yeah.
would be fun.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
everybody's just like playing games, and then you're just like,
exactly, you're just playing
yeah.
Scrabble
No, I
and
don't
everything.
play game all
And
my
our
life.
kids don't basically become, what do you say?
Don't
Eh?
play game all my life, ne?
Calm down. You're not tied to the care home now. This is what a care home. You're probably looking at it from the worst case of people that cannot poop and the likes. The
Okay.
idea is you're at a point where you don't want to be the one doing your dishes or doing your laundry again.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a maid as well.
Yeah.
Your children can be like, let's put you in this kind of nursing home. It's not just a one room. Some people even have a whole 2 bedroom, whatever, in their
Yeah.
care home. You have other fellow people that are old like you two there.
Yeah.
There are activities that they plan for you guys every week. If you want to travel, you can leave your care home and go and wherever you want to go to.
Totally.
You can always come back, but you are not living alone again in New Jersey or Vancouver or wherever. Where
Yeah.
if you die, nobody will know. You are not in. You're having like this assisted.
And you have
living.
other old people around you that you guys
Without
share.
people around
Yeah.
you, if you want to cook, you can cook, but they are cooking for you. Like I think that is the peak. If you get to a point where, as Israel is saying, you're already like a more of a burden even to yourself. Of course, you should probably just.
I think two things.
Yeah.
About those that will leave you, those that you will leave, is like you are emotionally in their emotions. By the time you are dead, whatever they are feeling doesn't matter. 1. 2, I think it's also that
So
you
it
are.
doesn't matter to you, right?
It doesn't matter to you, the dead person, because you're dead.
No, I
You
know
get-
that. I already acknowledged that in the first.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
it's like you are, which is good. Like you're empathizing on their own behalf. Like, oh, for sure. Because sometimes also when I'm like, oh, if I die now, like there's like only my parents will feel it. They will cry. But it's like I'm gone. Like I mean, people that I'm leaving behind will miss me. Not only my, but like you people will miss me. And now you're already emotionally blackmailing me with your face somewhere. But it's also like
Of course,
I
I'm
wouldn't be here to see this face. So I wouldn't be here to feel bad about you feeling bad. So it's like, yeah, whatever. You move on with your life. Right. No, another thing is also that I think maybe because it's my I've forgotten what the philosophical term for it is, but it's like you are overvaluing
your presence, your value as a person.
or even your experience at that point. Because by the time you say, oh, you get to play game, it's like, oh yeah, of course you're enjoying it, but like, what, like, at what friend? It's like, do you get? I mean, it's also like currently now. It's also like it's also like, and also when I talk about these things, people are sometimes afraid, like, oh, hope this guy won't commit suicide or something. I won't commit suicide. Like, let's not.
I don't
like,
think you can commit suicide.
do you get? Because, but I'm also like, at this current point, what is the whole point of this thing? Like, you are going to work, you are slaving away, and then you just die after all these things. Like, so by the time you are 70 and you've lived this life, like you've worked, you've traveled, you retire by 50, 20 years, you've done this, you've had your grandchildren, you've played, you probably, like, depending on when and what life is, like the way things used to be is that, if you marry by 22 or 23 or something and you give birth to kids, by the time you're 44, your kids are, like, your grandkids are also probably already having kids if the same number progresses. Do you get? So you have great grandkids. That's how people had great grandkids, right? And if you live to like another 20 years, which is like, it is something, you have great grandkids, right? But immediately you have great grandkids. It's like, bro, like, what else are you looking for again? I
I
mean,
don't even know why anyone is particular about all this. I mean, maybe because I don't even get the whole
so if
gang
you're not
thing.
particular about this, so what exactly, like, and
You
you're
see, no,
playing
this is
with
what.
other old people and you're sharing about, like,
Calm down. I think what you, I think Israel's perspective of old age is like it is
or
not a very
even
appealing
life.
time. Wait, I think your perspective is that it's not a very appealing time to be alive. It's like you don't think it is a very appealing time
Oh,
to be
not
alive.
necessarily.
No,
I no,
I'm
no.
not saying.
I'm saying that. What I'm saying is this: like, obviously, after you've retired, you can,
Yeah,
as our parents will put it, you can eat the fruit of your labor, right?
yeah.
Whether in your kids or in the fact
Or in
that,
the
I mean,
society.
exactly, or in the society, because I've been paying my taxes. Somebody has to take care
Yeah,
of me too. Or that the whole point of why I'm investing now, and I'm not just living life recklessly, is so that by the time I retire, I can have a good life. Do you get what I
yeah,
mean? Like, and I can
yeah,
enjoy my life. But I'm saying that it gets to a point, whether it is
yeah.
70, but according to what biology is going to say, like, by the time you're getting to 70, 75, 80, I mean, some people are very, very privileged, and maybe I'm going to be that, right? It's not like I'm going to off myself by the time I'm 70. Like, I'm not going to off myself by the time I'm 70. But I'm saying, like, according to what we know about things, by the time you're 70, and it's probably going to get worse for some of us because we've eaten junks. Maybe because I work out, it's going to be better for me, and then my
Mm-hmm.
bones are more like sure. Like, I'm not going to off myself, like, just to let everybody know. But I'm saying that by the time it gets to a point where you're already not enjoying life, of course, if I'm still enjoying life,
Exactly what I'm saying, Israel.
yeah,
That's the
like,
point.
yeah, that's the
If
whole point. Do you
yeah,
get
it has
it? So
to be
70 is
fun.
not it's not like I said, 70 is not a age like, oh yeah,
Oh,
done, been
yeah,
there, done that. But it's like by
yeah.
the time you get to a point where you're already becoming a menace to yourself and to the society, you're shitting yourself. I don't
No,
want to
yeah,
be
that no, no, no. At that point already, it's oh, like no, no, no,
just
no, we can't
off
be
me.
having that. No, no, I'm serious. Like
I
there
Off
don't.
has
my
to be,
lights.
there are rules that I'm going to put in place for
Do
people
you
that
get?
care about me and to let them know the things that I won't allow, and that like I won't. It's also like not just that. It's like at that point, the only reason why I would want to be alive is if living makes sense to me and it's fun. I'm having a
Exactly.
good time.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
cannot have a good time if, for example, maybe I can't see anymore, I can't hear anymore, or I
yeah,
can't move I can't have a good time. So I'm just existing, I'm not living.
yeah.
And I would rather not be existing. There you get. So I get that point. But I think old age can be good to some people. Like
Oh no,
I
I
think
don't think old age can be bad, to be honest. I think old age
yeah,
can be good. You can travel, you can, but I don't want to be in that position where I'm a menace to myself and to the
yeah,
society.
You know
Just
what
yeah,
I
I
off
don't
think
me.
want that.
about.
I
You
don't
know what I
want
think
that.
about this, right? I think that
Yeah.
when Israel, what I can hear, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that what Israel is hearing right now, what Israel is saying is that he's speaking from an experience that can only it seems like he's describing the African grandparent.
That's what I'm telling you, that Israel does not see old age as a good time to be alive. I don't think
No, no,
you
no, no, not necessarily.
Wait,
Like,
wait, wait.
not
Let me
part.
let me
It's
let
also
me use my
like, I
thought
mean,
first. Though.
I know people like go to Kelms. For example, I was talking to someone, and then they were like, oh, they went to visit their grandpa, and they don't even remember who they are. Do you get? I'm
no, you
like,
can't have that. No, at that
exactly,
point,
and that's my point. Like,
but
that's my
Israel,
point.
the
Like, just
president
off
of
this.
US right now,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Trump was 74. How old is your president now? This thing.
Yeah, sure. Like, for example,
Like
like, sure.
a lot of people actually, I mean, most people end up in care home and everything at a particular
Yeah, it's
age.
78. Trump is
But
78 now, which is nice. Like,
you get like
yeah,
quite a number of people actually do grow
See,
old to
that
that
makes
point.
a lot of sense.
yeah.
I just clocking that.
That
He's in
that's
the
why he can
Yeah,
say
he's an
things
old
he's
guy.
saying.
yeah, he's in the elderly department. And a lot of people actually get to that like elderly age and they just have a time. They're just chilling
Yeah,
around and everything. If we're able to get there, I think it will be a good time. I
yeah,
think it will be fun. I see
yeah.
I see a lot of them because I live on a place where there's a lot of old people and
And
everything.
also all these videos that we see on like Instagram
Yeah,
of old people
they don't
just
even live
chilling.
life with
Yeah, and just
concern. It's like
yeah.
there's nothing. The economy is going bad. It's there's COVID. Like it's
Exactly,
like
because it doesn't
no matter
matter
what's
because
happening, I
10,
don't care
20 years
anymore at
they
this
are
point.
gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I would hope that well, I mean, at the way of maybe
So,
rounding up there.
so maybe 70 is a
Yeah.
small age. Maybe I should
I think
increase
it
my
is.
bar
That's what
to,
I'm trying to tell you.
yeah,
That I think
yeah,
70 is
maybe
really
70
early.
is, yeah, I think
Like
maybe
if
70
you,
is
as
really early.
someone who is growing up in a developed country,
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah,
you don't have maybe debts at that age,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
if you add children and they are doing well themselves and everything,
Mm-hmm.
I would say 70 is probably quite young,
Yeah,
quite
okay,
frankly.
so 70 is a
Uh,
small age.
yeah, Trump is
Let's increase it,
gallivanting
yeah.
around at 78.
At
Do you get
78,
it?
fair, fair,
So
fair, fair.
like,
So, 70
yeah,
is a small age.
Shoyinka is I
Uh
think 89 now or
yeah,
90, and
fair,
he's still
fair.
lecturing. Do you get it? So it's
Yeah.
like you can get to that point where you're just having your time,
Fun,
to be
yeah,
honest.
fair, fair, fair.
So
Okay, so
yeah,
maybe,
hopefully,
but
yeah.
I think the summary is that
Once you're getting in,
whether this
becoming a
video
young
exists,
existence,
whether this video exists in the next, immediately I'm becoming a menace,
we
just
should seppuku you.
off me, yeah,
Really
just
noted. I
off
would
me.
note
Like
that. I would be
if I
kind
can't
enough
remember,
to.
if I can't remember anybody and I can't remember even where I
What if
am,
we
and
ask
I'm
you at
not,
that point and you say no? We do
know
not
that is
believe
my
that you.
foolish, it is my foolish. Now I'm saying, like, know that.
What if we ask you then as you're like, no, help me. No, we need your consent. We need you to tell us now.
I will
Do
write
we
it when I'm
see
still
the
sane. I will write it
do
in
we
somewhere
see?
when I'm still
Eh,
sane.
but we need a final. So I think there's
There's no
according to
final.
the assisted,
It was shape after we
the
they will be
assisted,
like is
the assisted this thing. You have to give consent again if you can in 48 hours before your seppuku. So they have to ask
I will
again.
give
Yeah.
it, son. I
So
will
they have to,
continue to give it.
but if you're unable to at that point, we can't go on. We have to let you be who you are at the
Okay.
menace.
I mean, let's talk about our. You said you wanted us to talk about our parents and stuff and how they are
Yeah, I was
growing and
gonna.
stuff.
That
Yeah,
was only the point. It
yeah.
was not
Let's
about
talk about
our
that
own
and
age.
end on that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how you are handling that coming demise of your. I mean, coming somewhere. I mean, in the future. And apart from even just that it's coming, it's also how are you handling the maybe slow disintegration that you probably, I don't know, may or may not be noticing, like people getting older. Some of my friends are telling me that their parents are getting older, they're in the
Yeah.
hospital, all of those things. And it's not things that are curable or anything, it's just old age.
It's just old age.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
when I think Micah, you and I have probably talked about it at some point,
Yeah.
and I was telling you that I was in Ife for a while, and then the time that I went home, and then I just saw the creases on my mom's face, and I'm like, oh shit, like, oh wow,
Yeah.
some like even now when I call them on video, I'm like, oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, and it's also like because I'm abroad, it might be that the next time the next call I receive now is gonna be like, oh Israel, someone has passed away, like your dad has passed away, and I'm like, oh wow, shit, like it's yeah at that point where like why not? Do you get like so? And it's a sad thing because it's like so that it doesn't seem like I don't have emotion for people that will be left behind because I will be left behind by some people. It is a sad thing to think about. Like old age is very humbling and very sad because now you have all your and you think about how you are currently young and you think about or the way that the image that I still have about my parents, at least about my mom, is
Mhm.
like this still very agile, young, like in staff school and on
Yeah.
the assembly and all these things, still chasing after all these small boys, like all
Mhm.
these. When I mean like because she was a teacher, do you get like
Yeah.
after all these kids and chasing after them, like oh do your assignment, do all these things, like it's still that image that I have because I left to go to boarding school and that image I wasn't at home to see that thing happening, right? And
Yeah.
the next time that I go home and I see them, they will just be old. And
Yeah.
and it's just sad. And I don't know, it's just sad. I don't know what to feel about it. It's live, but it's sad. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying because sometimes I get on call with my mom and my dad, and I noticed that my mom's hair on her head has started reducing, which is we have hair in our family, as you can see. Like it's
Mhm.
not it's an abundance, so it's only old age to see that. And obviously, they're still my parents are still like really agile. They still travel around. They're still walking. All of those things. They're still making banter and all. And I'm very happy and grateful for them. when I'm on the video call with them and they are laughing and arguing with each other and everything. It's always so fun because they argue about the most ridiculous things, like bed sheet or something like that. And it's always like, yeah, it's just not just old age thing. And it's happy to see. But it's also like I cannot help but notice like the slow change, like the loss of air, they get it. And then the unwillingness to even care about the hair, which is unlike
Yeah.
my own mom. Do you get it? So it's like I'm noticing those things gradually, and it's so sad that I'm noticing it in absentia. That's actually the worst part
I
of
think
it all.
that's I
I
think
don't know
that's
if
the
it would
sad
be
part, to
better
be
if
honest.
I'm there. I don't know if it would
Yeah.
be better, but like the fact that I don't even have that choice. It would be
Yeah.
good to have the choice. Maybe I'm in Lagos and I choose not
Yeah.
to go. It's different. But
Yeah.
it's like I'm literally miles away and everything, and I can't even just say, okay, I'm leaving tomorrow. So yeah, I think about that. It's like a level of adulthood. I feel like if I should lose any of my parents, it would change me for
Yeah.
life. I don't know who I would be. I'm
Yeah.
just putting it out there for everyone now. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what I would become because I actually happen to love my parents and I love my
Yeah.
family, and like I don't know what I would be. I don't know how I would process that grief. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to tear me apart. And seeing that future coming every single day on every video call and everything, it's just like damn. Like yeah, that's it. To be honest, I don't know. Someone you are in the same country with your parents. Are they as old? Are they? I don't know if your parents are old. Old. I don't know. It's like my parents are old too, but
My,
they're sure
my,
old.
my
Yeah.
parents are, well, maybe not old, but they out for. I mean, you get to know, but they're like, I think I'm not going to say exactly what age they are, but there's like a 30-year gap
Mm-hmm.
between me and my youngest parents.
Oh, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that's old. To be honest.
No,
So
no.
one thing that I was going to say about like how you can know, or can I have an idea of how old Samuel's parents are in like, just relatively. I might be wrong about this my theory is to think that Samuel is his parent
The
firstborn,
first born.
and we
Yeah,
are our parents lastborn, and we are still like,
exactly.
yeah,
We're
do you
older than
get?
someone.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had like three siblings in front of us. Do you get? So
yeah. So that puts things into perspective.
do you get? My parents are probably the oldest. Do you get? Like, and then
Yeah.
that trickles down, that
But
kind of thing.
that was so when you were going to say
Yeah,
that, oh, but it doesn't seem like it's old. But you've got to think about the fact that I'm like still like I have three behind me,
yeah.
So if I compare it to my youngest sister, for example, it's like, well, that's like I don't
That's
know,
a whole a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
that's
two
like
yeah.
a lot of
generations.
gaps. So I think about it, but I I would say that I'm very scared of that happening. I'm very scared. I think that if it does happen, I'll find a way to bounce back. Especially because my mom has always, she used to say this thing growing up, which is to make me so mad whenever she said it. But I think in retrospect, it kind of prepared me for our absence in some ways.
Mm.
Um, she had said, she always said, like every time, anytime I pissed her off and I did something or I said something, you know what how African parents would be like, I didn't kill my mom, so you cannot kill me. Like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So she would say that, me, pa mi, oye pa mi. She would say that, and then she would say those that there are a lot of kids out there that don't have parents and they are fine. They are living life, like, and she would say those things and she would say it, and I always be mad, but like, why are you saying this? Because she's like, she was always saying it anytime I made her mad or I did anything.
Yeah,
She's like,
yeah.
if you like, by the time you
I'm a
kill me,
typical African parent, more or
yeah, by
less.
the time you kill me, you'll be fine. There are people like you that they don't have parents and they are fine. So said that all the way through boarding school, said that all the way through Fego, said all the way through uni. So I kind of grew up with that being hammered in, where I'm like, well, if I lose my parents, it might be tough, but I will be fine.
Mm.
Right. And but the fear for me right now, the fear of it is the fact that there are a lot of things I really want to help my mom and my dad experience that they did not experience because they were too busy trying to create a life for me and my siblings. Now, if that does not happen before they pass, that is my biggest fear. If that does not happen before they pass, I feel like I would then start looking for ways to take it out in other outlets. Like I'll start being extra benevolent or trying to be extra nice and investing in things that would probably give other people that experience. But I would really, because like I think about the conversation. My mom, when she talks about her mom, for example, there's so much pain that comes with that conversation because she feels like she didn't give her mom everything she wanted to give her mom. And I'm so scared to be that. I don't know. So while I expect that the death part will come, I'm hoping that it doesn't come too soon, like before so many things fall in place for me. So half of my frustration when I come to you guys and I'm complaining about the fact I don't have money, I don't have a job, I don't have anything, is because it's not just about the fact that maybe I'm not living the life I want to live. It's also the fact that I can't give my parents the life I want them to have.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's really, for my parents, it's really not about paying their bills because they are fine. It's just that they're paying their bills so much that they're not living so many experiences that I would really love for them to live, especially now that there's more freedom for them. You know, like,
Yeah.
so like you think about like how this is a very wild example, but for example, when you talk about wines, for example, like drinking wine, for
Mm-hmm.
some people, for some older people in a different country, it's just an experience, right?
Yeah.
For my parents right now, it's a sign of you backsliding,
Yeah.
right?
You not see
And
that coming.
but like if you are in a place like Europe, it's, you know, it's just a part of the life. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Like, I just
Yeah.
wish that, like, and then you also like see my mom used to be hardcore, don't wear trousers, whatever. Now she doesn't mind it. Don't wear jewelries. Now she doesn't mind it. All of that came from the exposure to a different place, which I feel like that's the experience. That's what I feel like I would hate that they don't have. Basically, like
Mm.
the idea to see life from a different perspective, from where they are, where they have lived, where they are living. um yeah, so I am scared. I'm seeing them. I don't see them as much anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I guess I also don't see them because I every time I see them I'm reminded of
Mm.
what I don't have to give them, I guess.
I would say that, I mean, this is not an easy conversation, but I mean, as a way of wrapping up, I would say it's probably also, I mean, for you, it's probably also in a way a bit different. I don't know, maybe for Israel too, because you guys seem to maybe hold the same position. It's like, for you, it's also like the moment, I mean, when your parents pass, you have to assume this parental role because you are the firstborn. So, for example, I live my life with a kind of carefreeness because nobody is depending on me for anything.
Yeah.
Like literally not. And it's a good thing to know because it means I can actually literally do anything. I can do anything I want to do. I don't have a partner, I don't have children, I'm the last born of my family. If I decide I want to move to Japan tomorrow, I need to worry about myself and myself alone. You understand? I don't think those are decisions that you can just be making. Do you get it? The
Yeah,
moment, I mean, you can't,
cause
it's not
the
like nobody will,
responsibility is gonna fall
like,
on you. Yeah,
yeah, you just, and it's like,
expectation is placed
yeah,
on you.
yeah, and it's also even you yourself place that expectation on yourself. I don't think
Yeah,
it's like somebody going to beat you if you don't do it. It's
yeah,
also like you just as the eldest just don't want to see your younger ones going around without any parental presence, so to
yeah.
speak. And it like I think your younger ones are quite young. I think some of them are
Yeah,
still in school. So
yeah.
it's like there's a lot of growing up that you would have to do, like a lot of sitting up and
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like an African. I'm becoming like a man. That you have
Yeah,
to be the moment.
yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, I see that happen. I mean, I see that happen for me in some sense. That my dad wants to make some decisions and he calls me and he's like, we want to do this, so this land, all of this and everything. And I see that what he's doing is he's coming to the understanding that I am an adult and that I am now a man that okay, he can discuss family issues with, or he
Mm.
can speak family things with and
Yeah,
everything. Like it would be like, for example, now if Israel should maybe lose his dad or like anytime, whatever, he has to immediately go back home because we don't
Mm-hmm.
even know what can sprout up. I mean,
Mm.
God forbid all these Nollywood stories of family of like
I will
he has
fuck
to
them up.
immediately go there. He has
Bro.
to go there and fight for his mother. He has to. Did you get all of those things? Like
Yeah.
and those things actually happen. And it's like, as you as the firstborn again, it's like there's just so much and everything that it just comes up on you and everything. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we pray that nobody's parent dies anytime soon. This is a sober episode.
It's an interesting. I mean, it started on a very
Very
interesting. Yeah,
high
but yeah,
immigration.
I think what I'm gonna say is like, what do you? First question is, it's one of the things that I've written down in
Yeah.
one of the notes. Like, what living this with people? What do you
Yeah.
do? You think about death at all, or do you get cringy when someone mentions death beside you? And how do you think about you growing old? Leave that in the comment section.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
see
if they
Yeah.
actually listen to this point,
if they
because I'm
listen to the
imagining
end.
that
Yeah,
the average, maybe I'll say African, or let me say Nigerian, because I can speak
Yeah.
more for like Yoruba.
yeah.
So average Yoruba person like hears this and they're like, God forbid. We're talking about death, God forbid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've maybe you've lost your parent or something, or you've been in that position where you've seen your parents go through that process towards death. I mean,
Mhm.
whatever you're feeling would be good to probably share that as well, because yeah, we're just trying to grapple with what the emotional weight would be like when
Yeah.
that happened. Yeah. Yeah, this was fun. Do you want to round up the episode?
Fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
mean,
was
talking
a
about
roller
it was,
coaster fun.
it
So,
was fun in the sense that, yeah, I mean, in a way, it's,
I was
yeah,
I was having
this
I
was,
mean, don't let
physical
us start now.
sensations, physical sensations of anxiety as we were talking. I had to turn on my heater because I got cold and I was shaking.
Anyways, we'll dig
okay, this
into
was
that.
intense.
Yeah.
We'll probably dig into that off the camera. But yeah, Israel, who wants to end up the episode?
Yeah, thank you very much for watching to the end. We really hope you enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to like, subscribe. We still have a lot of people that watch our videos that are not subscribed, but I should also say we've been getting a lot of comments, which is very nice, especially on Instagram. So don't forget to follow us on our personal Instagram, but also on Miles Apart in the Common Room Instagram. So see you in the next episode. Bye.